Are you ready to unlock your full potential and maximize your productivity? Look no further than Productivity Smarts, the ultimate audio podcast hosted by renowned productivity expert Gerald J. Leonard. In every episode, Gerald shares captivating stories, invaluable tips, and cutting-edge strategies that will transform the way you approach productivity. Whether you're looking to reduce stress, overcome overwhelm, or simply get more done in less time, Productivity Smarts has got you covered. But that's not all. You'll also gain inspiration from real-life success stories of individuals who have achieved greatness through productivity. Plus, you'll learn the latest tools, techniques, and habits that will help you achieve a new level of happiness and fulfillment in your personal and professional life. So why wait? Join us every week as we delve into the exciting world of productivity and help you unleash your full potential. Get ready to take your productivity to the next level with Productivity Smarts. As a productivity expert and host of the Productivity Smarts podcast, Gerald J. Leonard has been a proud supporter of Kiva since 2011. Kiva is a non-profit organization that helps entrepreneurs in third-world countries access the capital they need to start or grow their businesses. By making a small loan through Kiva, you can help these entrepreneurs achieve their dreams, support their families, and contribute to their local economies. And with a repayment rate of over 96%, your loan can be relent to another entrepreneur once it's repaid, creating a ripple effect of positive change. So if you're looking for a meaningful way to make a difference in the world, consider making a loan through Kiva. With loans as small as $25, anyone can be a microlender and help change lives. Visit kiva.org to learn more and start lending today.
Well, today my guest is Tommy Burke. He is a resilient force in the entertainment industry, a film and television veteran who turned life's setbacks into stepping stones. Author of Not Just Sunglasses and Autographs, Tommy candidly shares his transformative journey through his career's upheaval, cancer, Parkinson's, and inspiring audiences to redefine success. Tommy, I'm so happy to have you on the show. How are you?
Good. I think we just peaked. We just peaked.
Excellent, excellent. Well, Tommy, if you obviously you've listened to the podcast, so you know I have a couple of questions about your
Rock
musical
and
stays.
folk, Irish folk music, rock music. That's my
Okay,
music.
okay, excellent. Now, do you have a favorite artist?
Dropkick Murphys.
Okay. Okay, excellent, excellent. Well, listen, you have an amazing story, and I love the book because you teach so many lessons through you telling your story and your life's journey. What is the one thing? Let me just ask you this. What do you think is that one thing that as you went through this entire journey that you're still on, that has really helped you to stay focused and successful and productive throughout this whole time?
I said one expression: you could screw up, but don't give up. I screwed up so many times. I mean, thank God you've listened to the book, because that people get that far. You're going to an amazing place in the book. You're going to come to an amazing place in the book. It's coming up soon. But I say you just don't give up. Just keep following away. If you screw up, whatever, don't care. I'm taking an improv class at the local community center. I'm not as good as the other people. I don't care. I just get started. I go in there. I pitch away. Sometimes my speech is not so good. I'm not I need to get louder. I don't care. I just pitch away.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, that was one of the things that did stand out about your story from just the different shows that you were on, the different processes that you went through, being a kind of like an assistant in the movie industry and learning the business from the ground up, taking all of the grunt jobs
Yeah.
and learning how to do them well. And then, getting certified as a director assistant and going through that whole process. But, and then even as you've done that, you had different ups and downs and challenges, but you also got to meet and work with some really significant people also during that time. Tell me about some of the setbacks, or maybe there's one early setback that you had that really challenged you. I know, again, right now you're dealing with the Parkinson's and so on, but what's a setback that you had early on that really challenged you, where you had to really focus and become productive, even though it was very difficult?
Here it is. This is some of my whole career. I got out of Boston College. and I fell in the film business. I didn't know what the film was, so I just fell into it. So
Okay.
I sent a resume. I sent 9 resumes out. It's like, you mailed them. I think you faxed them. I mailed them. That's right. And I got one guy wrote me back. He ended up being on the 11th flight. But I went there and I went to Boston College, was an Irish working class school, white collar school. The BU in Northeast are the technical film people. So when I was said on the film, film said I went on. I didn't know what I was doing. The director said to the producer, "Get that guy off the set. I never want to see him again." So for 2 days shoot, I was gone. I was banished from the set.
Oh, wow. So you end up this job and basically, right out of school, and it was, just a lot of grunt work, and the guy didn't really feel like you were doing your best and told you not to come back. So what did you do?
I didn't know I didn't know what I was doing because I went to a white college school. I found a thing called a grip house where they learn equipment. I just bust my ass, load grip trucks, all the equipment. I bust my ass, and a few months later, they were hiring every PA in town, the same company, and they were hiring me because I was a big guy. They said, "Well, what's he doesn't want on the set anymore?" And he said, "Well, he's not directing." So this time, I was like a missile. I just was running my ass off all day getting things. I just bust my ass. Became the number 1 PA in Boston, which is like being a head dishwasher. It's not a big deal, but it was good.
Okay, so when you think about your life, what is that daily habit at that time? Because, it's one thing to work hard, right? And it's one thing to make a mistake and keep just working hard. But to get to the level where you became a director assistant and networking and working with the people from that you had a chance to work with, working on the movies that you had a chance to work on, what was a daily habit that you purposefully focused on that helped you to kind of maintain momentum even when things were difficult?
It was a great thing. I was assistant director, by the way. I was first assistant director, which it's kind of the commander set. But what I did was the 2 things I learned. When I had work, I called people. I tell my niece who's getting in the business, we have work. Don't call people when you don't have work because it sounds, even though you're the best actress in the world, it sounds desperate. Call them when you have a job. People
So you
like that.
network so you network with people when you had business and when things were going on, so that way they kinda kept you in mind when things were when the next thing opened up, and so not waiting till things fall apart.
I said, you know what? I said, I also, one of my favorite expressions, I have a lot of expressions, was, you don't meet anyone in your living room.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So now, how would you recommend someone who has been turned down, who's been rejected, who may have a career-ending setback to become more productive?
All the time now because when I started, it was pretty straightforward, but now there's a lot of networking through internet and all that stuff. Just get out there. A lot of people don't believe this. That it's a big turn against it, but I like doing free shoots because it shows. It's like giving a free sample.
Okay, so basically work with people and give them a free sample of what you're able to do
Yes.
and share with them their insights. Who were some of the actors that you got a chance to work with that our listeners may have heard of or even watched their movies?
And Affleck,
Okay,
Cher,
Ben. Okay.
Johnny Depp, Peter O'Toole.
Wow. All those names it's like I can see them and see their movies and the things that they've done. Um,
I was on Gerald Leonard's podcast too.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Now, as you were going through your Parkinson's and as you were dealing with cancer, the thing that stood out to me in your book is that a lot of the people that you had been working for or working with that were in the movie industry, you had built relationships with them. And so they began to get involved with your life and kind of open up doors to either doctors or go with you to appointments or things like that. Can you share a little bit about that?
When I was at Chicago PD, I had people that wanted to go to me to get the diagnosis with the Parkinson's, but I had cancer 20 years before, so the cancer was tough. The cancer was set the ground for my Parkinson's. I mean, I was working 70 hours a week, and I did chemo. I drive after work a 49 day drive do chemo or do chemo at midnight, and just
Wow.
get the next day, just bustle it through.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And so just from that experience, having people around you helped you through that. But it sounds like you also just kind of kept yourself busy. I know you talked about in one part of your book that, hey, if you go to the doctor and you're dealing with cancer or you're dealing with appointments and you're not sure how the appointments are going to go, always take some reading material with you. And I also liked where you talked about, when you go into those appointments, they always want to give you one of these little flimsy gowns. What you would do, because 'cause you're a big guy, you're 6'2", you said about 230, 240.
Yeah.
You would wear a short sleeve button-up shirt with shorts and sneakers so that they wouldn't have to put you in one of those little flimsy outfits.
Yeah, I said, we're not going down there, so we don't need to do it."
That was really interesting, but it made sense, right? I mean, it was like you took the things that life was giving you, which are very challenging and can be very difficult, and you were making the most out of them. And even now, as we're doing the podcast, obviously you're dealing with the Parkinson and so on, but you're still out there. We met at a media and book authors workshop with National Publicity Summit, and I was so impressed with your background, your knowledge, but also I was impressed with just your grit and your resilience, that even though you have these current challenges, you're still in the game.
I tell people that you got when I tell people you got diagnosed with Parkinson's in the hospital, run home, because that exercise is the most key part of Parkinson's. I work out every day. I do something physical every day. I don't have a choice. It's not like I'm trying to be a good guy. You work out every day, so it's tough.
Yeah, yeah. And so you're working out now every day, doing something, just kind of keeping your body going, because it is a big thing around mind-body connection, right? And I'm
You
sure that
you you deal with the mind too. You do deal with your part with your vertigo. You deal with the mind a lot too.
exactly, exactly. And that was one of the things that I realized, and a part of that was stress with the vertigo that happened to me, but the healing part of it was understanding how my body worked and working with my body the way my body was designed, and that if I gave it time to process what was going on, if I did yoga, as I learned more about neuroscience, kinesiology, and all these other sciences, I was able to slowly build those things into my day on a day-to-day basis, to where now I was sharing this earlier before we started the call, that last year I had an exam where they said they see no signs of the vertigo or the vestibular imbalance, which is amazing. And I'm really grateful for that. And I know that there are people that I've interviewed on the podcast who had MS, cancer, other things like that, where they really focused on their mindset and doing something every day to move forward like you're doing, and they were able to overcome. And even if they didn't heal 100%, they were able to get themselves to a place where they could function and they could enjoy their life. And I see that for you as you're constantly moving forward with the things that you're doing. So, what is one thing that you're working on right now besides just this book that you look forward to?
Working out of the books, the two biggest things, because it's a big deal. The working out, it's crucial. I mean, it's like when you leave the house, you have a day you didn't work out, you feel like you left stove on. You leave the
Right.
stove on, you think something's wrong. You can't. I've always felt if I don't work out each day, it's bad.
Yeah, it becomes a like taking a vitamin or eating, right? That if you don't do it every day, bad things are gonna happen, but if you do it every day, you're setting your body up, you're setting yourself up to be healed. Now, a lot of people, especially now with everything that's going on, whether it's the war, whether it's people losing their jobs, whether it's the economy, whether it's the culture of how people are seeing each other and talking to each other, it creates a lot of uncertainty, right? It creates a lot of uncertainty in people's lives and careers. And one of the things I noticed in your book is, as you were sharing your various stories all throughout your life, you've had different levels of uncertainty. what do you think has helped you, even during those times of uncertainty, to keep moving? Because one of the things that I did notice throughout the book is no matter how things got or how uncertain things got, you kept looking for answers and you kept finding relationships or you kept finding solutions to to solve that problem and move on and then kind of grow yourself. So what do you feel like has also helped you in that, or maybe you have an example of that?
It's amazing insight. It's great. I didn't pick that out because a lot of people would pick that out. I kept moving. I came from a family that was hardworking. That started. We had the cat at 13. We had the cat. We didn't have choice, so we
Right,
started cat. We worked. And we always worked. The tough part now is just dealing with not having work, not having a place to go. I was either chasing work or doing work. Always
right.
two things. Now it's being a disability. I don't have either, so it's tough. But I try to, I try to do a lot. When before this, I was doing word problems on my iPad because I keep my mind straight too.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's really important. Reading books a lot, listening to podcasts. You got on and share with me. You kind of did all your research about me. You knew I lived in New York and Maryland and the Lower Alabama area.
And you're a musician. You used to play bass every morning,
Yeah,
uh, or before your TED talk. I got your
exactly.
number, buddy. I got your number.
So when you find yourself in a situation like you're in right now, right, where because of the Parkinson's, you had to take disability, you're no longer doing the things that you were doing that you talk about in the book. But I think it's still amazing that you've generated a purpose of, hey, I have this book and I have this life and this story that I told. And that was one of the things I wanted to bring you on for, was because that's the essence of being productively smart, is that irregardless of what you're facing, you're constantly looking for ways to make the most of your life and do it within reason and understanding your constraints or limitations, but not letting that be something that hold you back. Because I could see someone who has gone through what you've gone through saying, okay, you know what? I've had my opportunity. I've done this. I've done that. I have to fight this thing every day. Let me just sit down and watch TV or have an assistant to take me to the park. But that's not you. And I really want to honor you for that because, that's a serious a mindset. It's a tough and resilient mindset. It's a mindset based on grit. And it's saying, hey, I still have a life force in me and I have a message that I could share that could help someone. And I'm going to use everything I have to share that message, whether it's through the written word or through my website or through a video or through just going and saying, hey, I worked out and I'm doing a podcast. And that may be all you do all day, but it is leaving a legacy or creating a legacy that can help other people. And so, how do you see that for yourself with where you're at now?
I would say I'm not a very cocky person. I always say I hope someone reads the book and says my life goes, if he can do it, I can do it.
Right.
I mean, if he screwed up as much as he did, it came out of it, I could do it too. That's what I hope for. I'm someone who puts their butt in the line, just takes care of it.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, let me ask you this. This is the last question here. Can you share another powerful lesson? And maybe it can be just about relationships or it could just be about resilience that's really meant a lot to you, even as you've written the book and published the book and are going around doing the podcast. What do you think is like just a powerful thing that you do every day or a lesson that you could share with the listeners?
I keep things every day. I wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning. I don't sleep very well, but Marcus, you don't sleep very well. So I wake up at 7 to bed. I keep in bed till 7. I will not get out of bed because I could fall asleep again. It's very important. I go to bed at 9 every night. I eat well. I mean, I eat well. I never had boundaries, but I can't put boundaries up, so I keep my life straightforward.
Gotcha, gotcha. So having a solid routine, getting up, again, doing your exercises, keeping your mind filled with positive things and reading, and then having a great schedule. And I think that's a big challenge and a nice roadmap for you or for anybody who's going through some really difficult challenges is fight off depression or fight off the different things that can come up and create a routine for yourself and have these events or have things where you're giving back, even if it's just giving back your knowledge or giving back your time or sharing your wisdom or sharing the story of, hey, I've gone through all of this and I could do this or I made this impact. You can do it as well. And I have to share this. One of the stories I loved is when, you talked about how you grew up and that one of your first jobs was being a golf caddy. And,
Mhm.
and just the things that you and the fellows would do between breaks as a golf caddy that really helped you to grow and change. And so, again, what a well-lived life, what an amazing journey that you have, and what a well-written book. I will say the stories are extremely engaging, and you tell them with passion. And let me ask you, during the time of the release, did you do the reading of the audiobook?
I did, because my voice could handle it. My voice doing
You
pretty
you
good today.
okay.
I have a friend of mine who's an actor, who's a big-time actor, he did it for me.
Okay, okay, excellent. Because there was one part where you do talk about where the gentleman's speaking and he's reading about the cancer, but he brings in a certain amount of emotion in the book, which is very congruent to what you were going through, and I thought that was really compelling. Because
He's a big-time actor too, he used to be a big-time actor.
yeah, because you could tell, like, okay, normally you have someone who's writing a book and they share a very difficult situation and they just kinda talk about it, but it's kind of matter of fact, but you could kind of hear this person talking about it, and you could hear the emotions welling up a little bit. So it kind of made you think like, wow, this is really impactful. This was really a big deal for this guy with what he had to go through and where he's at in life. And so again, I just want to thank you for sharing your story and for sharing your wisdom. If someone wants to get the book or learn more about you, where can they go?
You get it on TommyBurke.com
Okay,
or
TommyBurke.com.
or
We'll put that in
Amazon
the notes,
or Amazon.
or on Amazon. Excellent, excellent. Well, Tommy, I wanna thank you so much for being a guest, for sharing, being part of the National Publicity Summit and sharing your journey, and for, jumping on the call and scheduling a call with me to share your story, because I think your story is gonna help a lot of people that may be going through some really challenging times. And just hearing you as you're still going through your journey, you're still willing to share your story to be of help and of service to those that may need it. And someone is going to listen to this and get inspired. And maybe they're feeling depressed. Maybe they're feeling this or feeling that. And they're going to hear your voice. They're going to hear this story. They're going to read your book. And it's going to help them pick themselves up and say, you know what? If he can do it, I can do it.
Oh, my favorite story is, there's a story about a sports reporter asking a boxer, "Do you have confidence in yourself?" And the boxer said, "Yes." And if I don't, who will?
Exactly. Exactly. Well, Tommy, thank you so much for being on the Productivity Smarts podcast.
I hope I hope I did turn on the average.
You did amazing, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
If you're enjoying the content and finding it valuable, we would appreciate it if you could take a moment and leave us a review. Your feedback is important to us and helps us reach a wider audience. If you leave us a 5-star review, it would mean the world to us. Not only does it help us improve the podcast, but it also helps us attract more sponsors and grow our community. Thank you again for your support and for listening to the Productivity Smarts podcast.
Thank you for tuning in to Productivity Smarts, where we help you achieve your goals and live your best life. We hope you've gained valuable insights and actionable strategies to boost your productivity and increase your happiness and fulfillment. Remember to apply what you've learned and keep striving towards your goals. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our podcast for more inspiring episodes and expert advice from our host, Gerald J. Leonard. Until next time, keep pushing forward and unleashing your productivity smarts.